Faster.
One restroom 5 later.
Downtown, baby.
Oh, another bottle? You guys had fun today?
Yeah.
Did you guys like the store?
Yes.
I almost looked at tequila part bonus.
Okay. Well, you know what? But I'm just half of it. I'm just half of the part of the great day you guys had. The other half belongs to my buzzer, which is Evaristo. Let's give Evaristo a round of applause for me. And remember what I said, ladies and gentlemen. Where we're going to drop you off, that's exactly where you guys need to come back to, okay? When you guys are ready for the bus to go back to the ship. Don't lose that shuttle service pass, okay? If you guys do lose it, ladies and gentlemen, they will charge you $2 initially for each person. So, more people lose it, that's what, $2, $4, $6, $8 that you guys gotta pay. Okay? Should you use that $8 instead? I don't know. Or another taco, a beer, I don't know, or whatever you guys want. Alright? Now, the same tip that I gave you in the bufadora about the shopping, you can use it here too. As for the price, walk away. It's going to work miracles for you guys, okay? If you guys want to continue your shopping, right? But with that said, I'm going to go ahead and tell you a little bit more about our history in Mexico so you guys can know a little bit more, okay? The 4 most celebrated holidays in Mexico. Can anybody tell me those 4 holidays, most celebrated holidays?
New Year.
Huh?
New Year.
New Year.
Semana Santa.
That's one. Yeah, that's 2.
Semana Santa.
Dia de los Muertos. Huh?
Semana Santa. No.
He said that. That's 2. November 2nd, Dia de los Muertos. The second most celebrated holiday in Mexico. Independence Day. When does the Mexican Independence Day fall?
September 16th.
September, the war started September 15th and then it's September 16th. What year?
Oh shit. 18 something.
18 something? That's a good stuff. See, always get the 100% of guys. So, 18 what?
67? No, 67?
Huh?
67?
Huh? Yes.
81, 82, 83, 84, 82.
Keep going.
I thought we
Keep going.
Why am I getting closer?
You stopped at 7. Keep going.
8, 9, 10. 18, 16. 8, 9, 10.
18, 10. September 16, 1810, we liberated ourselves from who? From Spain. That's when we became an independent country. September 16, 1810, nos independizamos y nos liberamos de España. Right? That's when we became an independent country. Not Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, that's for the widows.
Does anybody know why do we celebrate Cinco de Mayo? La batalla de Puebla. Cinco de Mayo, people think that it's our independence, it's nuestra independencia. Cinco de Mayo, no, it's not, and it's not an American holiday. Some people say it's an American holiday because they celebrate real big time. No, we don't. It's not an American holiday. It's a Mexican holiday. We celebrate the Battle of Puebla. That's when the town of Puebla, the Mexican army pushed out the second invasion of the French when they tried to invade Mexico the second time. That was over 3,000 French soldiers. Era en la batalla de Puebla, 5 de mayo, cuando tomamos la segunda invasión de francesa. They came out with a victory. The folklorico dancing, the dress, Western traditional dress wore in Puebla. You know the guys that have the straw hat, white shirt, white band, sandals, red scarf belt? Those are farm workers, right? Lo que usamos en los 5 de mayo, esa blanca, cuando nos traemos las sandalias, el cinto rojo y okay. What I just told Tina is that those are farm workers that we call in Mexico jimadores. Who are the jimadores? The jimadores are the ones that work the agave plant to produce mezcal or tequila. You know, there's more than 200, about close to 300 different species of agave plants, but there's only 2 that you can use to produce tequila. The rest, they use them to make pulque. You guys ever heard of pulque?
Yep.
Pulque is like it's strong too. Yeah.
That was it?
But hey, you drink after you pass the 3rd cup.
Then
It's
it's
like the
good.
movie The Black Panther when you drink out of the flower, you reunite with your ancestors. You go way back. But the rest of the species of the agave plant, they use them for pulque or mezcal.
Yum, yum.
You know, but look, the mezcal, did you guys know that the mezcal is the original alcohol beverage of Mexico before tequila?
Yep.
In history, in tequila from mezcal, the tequila distilleries gained popularity, and to go ahead and keep their sales up, they pushed out the mezcal distilleries. But the tequila is not the original locally alcohol beverage of Mexico. It's mezcal. And the worm that's in the bottle, some people are not putting scorpions, they're putting snakes and stuff like that, which is it's good to drink, no problem, right? But the worm, it's actually like a trademark from this brand called Gusano Rojo. And actually, in the process of that mezcal, before it was named Gusano Rojo, in one of the agave plants, the worm was found inside that bottle, but it was too late because it got shipped out. They put it in the shelf. One person bought a bottle of mezcal. They're like, oh look, this one came with a surprise. Okay, what a worm. So it was so good, that mezcal, that it got so much popularity that they kept asking, hey, where's that mezcal with the worm in it?
And you
Like,
get
what worm?
fucked
Ain't
up
no
with
mezcal
that
has
worm.
worm on it?
That worm.
But then started using the worm for a
Because it sucks
different
up all the
purpose
alcohol.
now. You know, mezcal, it's a higher grade of alcohol than tequila.
Yep.
Tequila reach all the way to 40%, 38%. But mezcal can go all the way up to 70% alcohol volume.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah. One
like
second,
motorcycle.
amigo.
You're
It's
done.
like 100 seconds of tequila. But look, the worm was used to put on the mezcal because it's a high grade of alcohol.
That is a
To grade
stink
the
ton.
alcohol of the bottle,
Trust
and
me.
if it was safe to drink. If they drop the worm and they wait 24 hours. After 24 hours, if that worm starts breaking apart, dissolving, that means the alcohol volume is too strong to drink. Okay? If it stays intact, that means it has at least a 50% to a 60% alcohol volume, where it's safe to drink, and you won't have to give a punishment to your liver and everything else. Right? But the worm is not designed to go, or it's used now on the mezcal to break the alcohol volume. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, Dia de los Muertos, November 2nd, is not our Halloween. You guys ever seen Coco?
Wait, the movie Coco?
Coco?
Yeah,
You guys like that movie?
Oh, I love that movie. I love it.
Be honest, who cried when Mother Coco died? That's good. Look, she's like. You like Coco?
I remember.
She
I remember
smokes
me.
like 5 times a day.
5 times a day.
Get it? Yeah, it's a song,
Let
Mom.
me see, what
Remember
part
me?
of Coco you guys cried in?
Remember me.
You chocha my chorizo.
Remember
You're like,
me.
no, Mario. Right? You got some medicine right there in Okay, so. That's somebody's stuff. I don't know. It comes off that bag right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bag right
Bag
there.
is open.
Oh, Mexican Louis Vuitton.
Give me the nuts.
Okay, so Dia de los Muertos is not a Halloween, but it's a holiday where we celebrated the life of our past loved ones. There is something very interesting about that movie, or 2 interesting things about that movie that none of you guys didn't know. One, that Mother Coco, the way she is animated, that's the way she is and looks in real life. Mother Coco is one person that we strongly gonna go ahead and miss, because her real name is Maria de Salud Ramirez. She died in 2023. Thanks to her, we showed the whole world why we celebrate Dia de los Muertos. We give offerings and we put the flower, the petals of that flower, the orange flower. That flower, for us, in our beliefs, is a spiritual bridge between the real world where we live in
And
to
your dad?
the spiritual world, which is in their realm. We use that bridge so the dog, which is a second interesting thing that you guys seen in Coco,
You mean Dante?
it's a cholo squinkle. You know, have you guys ever seen a real cholo squinkle?
Yes.
It's
They're fucking
an
ugly.
Ooh, that's disrespect.
Yeah, they look like gremlins.
We had them,
Pero, but they're expensive dogs, también caros. But did you guys know that the Cholo Squinkle, that dog, not only has history with that movie, it's actually the pet and the dog the Aztecs had when they roamed in Mexico City in the 1500s and there's tribes here, which we have 7 tribes that roam in this area here, the Pai Pai, the Kumeyaay, the Kaliwas, the Cochimis, the Kukapai, right? That they roam here and they found campsites in the archaeologists and they found dog remains. And guess what that dog was? The Cholo Squinkle. We don't know how long the Cholo Squinkle lived, but it's the original dog of our culture, of our history, of our ancestry, right? That's why they're so expensive and they're protected species. They see you mistreating a Cholo Squinkle and you're the owner of it, you can go to prison for that. They're real protected species, right? You know, we are the dominant species of this planet and we send a lot of species to the verge of extinction. And it's sad. It's sad. Right now in Mexico, the most protected species in Mexico is actually a little whale, una ballenita. That's the most protected species. It's called La Vaquita. You guys ever heard of La Vaquita whale? It's probably the size of a dolphin, a little bit more bigger, and it looks like an okra. It's gray half, the top is black, and it has a black, like a black eye. There's only less than 10 in existence in the whole world. Where do they live? In the other side of Baja California, which is in the area of San Felipe. San Felipe is directly across the state from Ensenada. It's a 2 to 3 hour drive. But see, that fish, they killed it so much, not on purpose, because a lot of fishermen did illegal fishing in San Felipe, which in Mexico, it was all over the news. They used nets to catch one fish, one species of fish, called the totoba. Have you guys ever heard of the totoba? The totoba is a fish that they use the gills to sail in other parts of the world where they paid the most money for it.
Oh, they buy everything.
Yeah, but you know why they buy that so much and paid a lot of money? They actually did a documentary about it called the Totoba, illegal fish.
It's like a
and
fin,
illegal
shark
fish.
fin, like a shark fin.
It's very shocking. Look, it's actually the most powerful aphrodisiac in the world in the market today. A kilo to that buche is around anywhere from $35,000 to $75,000 US for 1 kilo. That's 2.2 pounds of dry buche.
And they're just species.
And they started becoming an endangered species. But you know, if you go to San Felipe, you go do fish, you catch a totoba, you have to do a catch or release. You can never bring that fish on top of the board. You gotta cut the line, try to set the hook off, and they let it go. Because they have, I can say, drones.
Oh, drones.
They have the Marines, La Marina. They have the Mexican Coast Guard. They're patrolling all the waters. They're watching you, eh? If
Maybe
you're
some of
fishing,
that
they're
have
gonna be watched all the time.
You want a GPS on the fish.
Oh, they're gonna go more than, I don't know if they put GPS, but hey, trust me, you act like nobody's watching you actually, and they are watching from a long distance. They see you take a totoba, you gotta take the whole fish. You can actually take the whole fish, no problem. But you gotta take the whole fish. The legal fishing, they just cut the buche and they throw the carcass in now. Kind of like the sharks, they cut their fins off and throw the shark.
Yeah.
You know, but the second most that's the second most protected species. The first one's the vaquita, and the third one is the sea turtle, la tortuga. Because in Mexico, you know, we made a soup called kawama. You guys ever heard of kawama? I'm pretty sure usted ya probaron ya. ¿Sí lo has escuchado de la kawama? Es un caldo, it's a soup that's made out of sea turtle. You know, a lot of fishermen in Mexico can tell you this. Even sailors in the States, they tell you, if you get sick in the ocean, like say you get a cold or a flu or something like that, there's not a lot of medicine they can carry. You know what fishermen always recommend to you? A tablespoon of the oil of the turtle, which is el aceite de caguama. Tastes nasty, super nasty. But it's like a shilajit Mexican version. 20 times stronger. I think it's like a boost to your immune system. Any fisherman in Mexico will tell you. Anybody has lived off fishing will tell you. One thing they'll tell you too, never turn your back in the ocean. It's a very treacherous ocean. Okay? So, from this point on, are we still enjoying this little history, you guys?
It's so interesting.
But look, the most every holiday, you guys answered that. Which was el Día de la Virgen de Guadalupe, el Day of the Virgin Mary. November 2nd, Día de los Muertos, Independencia de Mexico, number 3. Number 4, Mother's Day.
Ooh.
Have you guys seen el Día de Madres in celebration here? They book restaurants a year in advance for Mother's Day. May 12. December 12. No. Damn, what's wrong with this guy?
May 12th.
No, it's actually 10th of May. 10th of May. 10th of May, and the States is every second Sunday. Okay? Now, can anybody tell me the 3 colors in our flag? What do they represent? And before you guys guess, I'm going to tell you 2 correct answers. 1, the green, white, red in our flag does not stand for pico de gallo. Nacinato, cebolla y tomate.
Some feels
people
like Italy.
Oh, I know. What is it? Oh, that's easy. The marijuana, cocaine, and puppies. No, you just watch too much Chapo on Netflix. No. Red stands for blood. All the blood that was shed during the revolution and independence in Mexico. White stands for pureza, which means purity. Green is a woman's name in Spanish. And a 4-letter word in the English term. And it's hope. In Spanish, esperanza. That's what the 3 colors in our flag stand. And you know, we hold the Guinness Book of Record in Chihuahua of the largest flagpole in the world. ¿Ustedes sabían que nosotros tenemos el récord Guinness de la bandera mexicana?
Can't believe I've been recording for an hour already. Come on. Come on, guess what? I've been recording for over an hour already. There's like lots of traffic there. Guess Gabriel, guess it was right. There's like lots of traffic here. Look at this. It's like so many cars. Cars everywhere you see. Everywhere. It goes non-stop.
So, keep on going. Right? The flag, you guys understand what the green color stands for? Yes? So, the eagle eating the round snake on top of the cactus. Did I tell you that? It's a representation of all 3 gods that Aztecs strongly believed on. You see the Aztecs were looking for new land, and the Aztec king Moctezuma had a dream and said, in that dream they told him, wherever you see the eagle eating the round snake on top of the cactus, that's where you're going to build your temple and ruin everything around it. And when he came over a cliff, he seen a dry lake. Well, not a dry lake, but like a lake, like a swamp. It was dry, had water. And it was an island in the middle filled with cactus. That's where he seen the eagle on top of the cactus, which is this image right here. This is the image. The feather gods, separate gods, and during the daytime, something. Which there's a movie that actually replicates what it was back then in the Aztecs in the 1500s. If you guys never watched that movie, I truly, truly recommend it. It's directed by Mel Gibson. What is that movie called? Apocalypse. And they're working on part 2 already.
Really?
You know the Aztecs were one of the most hated tribes out of the 7 tribes and they conquered everybody. Nobody could beat them. They had 4 bridges that connected the island to the mainland. They get a threat from here, they put the bridge, everybody falls on that one. Easy targets. Nobody could beat them. Only the Spaniards. You know how the Spaniards beat them? They were mistaken for the sun. The people they put sacrifices and burn their hearts on coal, so they won't be, how you say, so they won't be afraid that the sun people will be angry at them, and they gotta go ahead and not bring the sun the next day. But they said the shiny armor, the reflection of it, oh, it's the sun people, because in their prophecy, they say, la gente del sol, the people of the sun, one day are gonna walk with us. And they actually mistook the Spaniards for the sun. So, ladies and gentlemen, with this said, this is gonna conclude our tour. Okay? I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys had a great time. I hope we learned something. Did we learn something? Yeah. All right. Don't forget, because it's Skeeter what's at your memory. All right?
How many of those stories are true?
Huh?
How many of those stories are true?
Google. Nah, but they are true because I asked a lot of questions during my career, which it became a career, right? I actually studied 6 years here at one of the 13 universities in Ensenada, and I got my degree and my diploma to be a specialized tour guide in Mexico, a federal tour guide. That means I could work in any state in the country. When you become a state tour guide, you only can work in the state that you live in. Because I know everything in general in Mexico. And that's good though, because back then, when I first started without that degree, I used to tell people we have pink elephants over here. I knew I'll make it easy and grab 10 bottles and just get everybody drunk and everybody goes to sleep. So it was very different, right? But look, thanks to that, I'm very grateful and I thank God first of all because that's the one promise we all have, and I will advise this to anybody in this bus. Every time you guys go ahead and wake up every morning, it takes you 5 seconds. It takes 5 seconds to say thank you, Lord, for me today. Unos 5 segundos para darle gracias a Dios. So, ladies and gentlemen.
That is your tip.
Tips and stuff like that. Look, ladies and gentlemen, tips.
Yeah.
Whatever you guys want to give me, my bus driver, that's 80% of our check.
Okay.
Because Mexico wouldn't get a lot of money. But whatever you guys give us, I'll collect them down here for me and him.
Yeah.
Right at the bottom left. We split that 50-50. Okay? But thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Keep enjoying vacation. Thank you for your preference, and hopefully I get to see you guys soon again. My name is Caesar from Texas. I will see you guys back sooner than today, right? I'll probably see you in 5 minutes with another bottle. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Watch yourself.
All right. That's it for us.